Hey guys, I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. I've been delaying it because I didn't give myself time. So my name is Tanya Torres. I run my friend Tanya shop on Depop. I sell items that I have bought for myself. Once I get bored of them, I sell them, or if they don't fit me anymore, I sell them. If my boyfriend's clothing don't fit him, I sell his, and it just varies on from there. I have done the thrifting part of it, of Depop, and I did find some gems, but I don't really vibe too much with the thrifting because I don't make a lot of time for it, and I know that sounds really weak sauce or whatever, but it's just not for me. I sell my used clothes. For me, it's like a used car. There's only been one owner, me, and so therefore I know where the clothes came from. I know what's wrong with it. I know the sizing and everything. I figured I'd make a video on how I succeeded in Depop. I am not a top seller, but it's going to take me some time to get there eventually. I believe you have to make $2,500 a month. Don't quote me on that. Consistently to become a top seller, and I'm not making that, and that's fine. Maybe one day I will. I've made notes of what I'm going to talk about today. Let's get started. Photos. You gotta model your products. You gotta model them. You gotta take good pictures of them. You have to show the flaws if you can. You also don't need a fancy camera or anything to take good pictures. I use my iPhone 10 and I think it does a very good job for what it is. I do business on the go all the time, so it just helps. And then I use it with my little tripod thing. So I do like that. So that really does help. And also your phone has filters that you can add on it if you really want to. I personally do not add filters on most of the items because I want the natural light to show. But if the picture's a little dark, I do. Just to make sure that it's like visible. Depop has an option for videos, and I sometimes use it. Don't judge me if I don't. I do forget to take videos when I am modeling for the photos because there are times where I have a bunch of items and I just want to get the pictures taken and just get it going. I do recommend getting like a tripod or something, but it just varies on person. I use this little thing here. This is from Pop Socket because I do have a pop socket. So this thing works like a charm. I really like it. I think it's like $12 on Amazon. Don't buy it at Target. They're charging like $24.99. I use that and I just pop that sucker in there like that. And there you go. You have a little tripod. And I haven't tried putting it like on like a pole or something like the adverts showed, but I have just literally made it look like a little dog. It stands really still and it takes perfect pictures. And another thing is that you can rotate. Alright, let me just do that. You can just like rotate the pictures or whatever you want. My I Spy background. I really like it. It's a very useful tool and you can put it on anything. I don't believe in getting a bunch of fancy stuff, and some people might argue with me on that one, but that's fine. You do you. I like a deal, and I don't like to spend a lot of money on things that I don't need. I like to work smarter, not harder. When I started out, I was using a backdrop. I actually got rid of it because I didn't really feel like I needed it. After that, I just started using my background. It just really worked. There have been times where I would cut out a piece from the backdrop and just sit it on the ground and take pictures of everything flat. That works too, but it's just better if you model the items. People get a sense of how it looks on you, get a feel for it, I guess you could say. Another thing you want to do, add a shop policy. Shop policies are super important because when you're not able to answer their questions, they can go down to the shop policy post and see for themselves and find the answers that they had questions for. It really does help a lot. Like I've avoided a lot of redundancy by telling them, hey, you know, my shop policy states this. It just saves time and energy. Another thing I do recommend is these stickers. I bought the Avery 22807 stickers. I put them on as kind of like a label for my brand. They're very useful. They're glossy, and it works with my printer. I'm going to provide a link for all the items, the links for all the items that I have here. Some, if I don't provide certain ones, it's probably because they're unavailable. These are like literally 12 bucks. What is it? 120 labels. So my next step is packaging. I am a pastel pink lover. My entire room, my setup is pastel pink, and I'll provide a footage of what my office looks like. So I go to Dollar Tree for my tissue paper. I think it's a very smart thing to do that. You don't have to go to Walmart, or you don't have to go to Target, you don't have to go on Amazon. Just go to your nearest Dollar Tree. They have glittery packaging, or they have glittery tissue paper. They have pastel tissue paper. They have craft paper if you want to wrap up the box. And they also have the darker colors, like they have like the bold reds, blues, and greens. But it's really up to you. I went on Amazon and I bought my poly mailers. These are the ones that I use. Okay, so I use these for bigger items. If it doesn't fit in this poly mailer, I do keep my Amazon boxes. I have craft paper that I will wrap those boxes with just to give it a cleaner look. And then I use these hot, like a dark pink ones. I use these for shirts. This was literally the first poly mailer I ever got, or poly mailer style I got. It was this color because I didn't see any pastel pink ones at first. And they came out with them maybe a year ago or something like that. Or maybe I just didn't really look. But these are the first ones, and these are the ones I use now. Once these run out, I will be getting the same color and the same size. There's always different designs. These are just my preferences. I also keep a nice tape dispenser. It's so vital, especially if you don't have the adhesive labels, which I really don't use because I print out the receipt the same time with the label. So until I figure out a way, that's literally my method, is just using printer paper and taping it on. Whenever I ship an item, I did buy this big bag of scrunchies that I'd like to give away with every purchase. Sometimes I do forget to put one in, so I finally moved the bag up so that I can remember. And I started doing that maybe about a few months ago. I put a card in there, a thank you card, and a reminder to leave me a review. A lot of people like using pirateship.com because it's free, and some people like to use USPS.com. I personally like to use stamps.com because it's just easier for me to manage, and I'm familiar with that software. Again, that is me. I do pay the $10 a month. There's an option for $15. I have the software in my computer and I know how to use it. So that's for me. I also use an HP Envy 4520 printer for my labels. And when a label comes in stamps, you have the option to print out the receipt, which I store to keep track of how much I spent on shipping. I've been selling for 4 years, so I kind of have a system already in place. And then feedback to buyers. I have a little template I've made just to make things easier for me. When their orders get delivered, I like to send them feedback first, and I may provide a Google Doc down below, and feel free to use it. I don't care. It's really up to you, and if it makes it easier for you, I want to be a part of that. You really want to have good communication with your buyer. They need to know that you're going to be reliable, that you're going to promise them an item. And if they need measurements, if they have a lot of questions, if they need pictures provided, they want to see a picture of a different angle, you make sure you communicate to them when, what, who. I think that's key. I mean, wouldn't you want somebody with good communication if you're buying from them? That's the way I treat my customers, is the way I want to be treated as a buyer, because I'm also a buyer on Depop. And here comes a part that really sucks. I love Depop, but I do not like the 10% fee that you take out of your items every sale. It is a lot of money. I have sold a coat for $200 and they took $20 out, and it really does suck, but you kind of have to deal with it. There's nothing you can do about it. And then the PayPal fees is 3%. Another thing to keep in mind is descriptions. good descriptions, providing measurements and everything of that sort. You gotta point out the flaws, you gotta point out the size, you gotta point out how long you've owned it. You have to cover all bases. If you're looking for something, you wanna know, hey, how long is this? What's the waist size? What is the size of this? How long have you had it? I like to add ship next day to my listing because I do ship next day. I will relate to the buyer, hey, I'm so sorry to not be able to ship next day. I'll be able to ship it Tuesday, or this day, or this day. You really want to relay that good customer service comes from you. And if they're not happy, then you bet you're gonna have a terrible time. You're gonna get bad reviews. I haven't had a bad review in a while, and the last time I had a bad review was over something that could have easily been resolved. Also, have a space for where you store your clothing, and have a space for where you package it all up and everything. Mine's in my closet because I want to prevent dust from getting on my stuff. They are put up, stacked up so that I can find it easier and separate it from my own personal clothes. And you can see that I have like my packaging at the bottom, my tissues at the top. I like to make it a quick, easy pack up for you, so that I can ship it out really fast. How I price an item depends on the usage. Let's say if I have a shirt that's from Calvin Klein and I have only worn it maybe a small handful of times, I bought it for $35, I will take out a specific percentage depending on the damage. I will do my research on everybody who's selling Calvin Klein shirts and kind of work off of that. Let's say somebody is selling a Calvin Klein shirt with more damage than mine and they're selling it for $20, I will probably sell mine for $25. It just really depends. Everybody has a different system, but that's my system. And sometimes I cut some slack. I do sales and I offer free shipping with bundles. You do not get a discount on bundles. My shipping ranges from $3 to $6. And if it's a heavier item, we're talking $8 to $10. A lot of people will want to swap, trade, want you to hold an item for them. I don't do holds. I wouldn't recommend it. You have somebody who is willing to pay the full price and buy it now, and then you got to deal with the other customer who's mad at you for selling it to somebody else after a hold. And I just don't like to deal with that because it's very finicky. It's a very weird situation, and I just don't think it's very fair because then majority of people don't end up buying it after you have it on hold. So I don't do holds. I would not recommend doing holds. Some people do it and that's fine, but I don't want to do that. I do not do returns either. If a customer has to return something, it's usually because my fault. And I haven't had a return ever, but I have refunded somebody some money. It just ended up arriving really late, and I felt really bad, and it was not even that big of an item. It was not expensive. Oh, and it arrived broken. Somebody at the USPS broke it, or in transit broke it. We're talking like a month late, and that was when I was starting out, actually. I was not so sure on how to ship stuff, so after 4 years, I kind of got the gist of it. So what I did was I sent her a stuffed Darth Vader gift, and I refunded her money. It just really depends on the situation, and you want to keep that positivity going. I used to have an Instagram for my Depop shop, but since I switched the names out, I used to have a different shop name, and now it's just my friend Tanya, so it just works better, I feel. And so right as of now, I do not have an Instagram for my Depop, but it is highly encouraged to do that. That's how you kind of get people coming to your shop. It works. People do it on TikTok too. Whenever you sell an item, what I do is I go into my Depop and move the sold items down, and then I rearrange so that everything is in the same order, like the groups. Like I separate it by shirts, I separate it by bottoms, and dresses, and miscellaneous items, shoes, miscellaneous items. I just like to keep it clean. It makes me feel better. It's organized, it's clean, I can see what I have. Also, before I forget, it's super important to have a scale so that you have the appropriate measurements and weight for your item when shipping. You want to have the correct postage, or else it will get either returned or it'll be taken out of your, in my case, stamps account. And you don't want to do that because it looks bad and it could delay the parcel for the customer. And then I don't delete sold items, mainly because it helps me keep track of things. A lot of people do. I don't know why. And you want to do sale promotions like for Mother's Day. Hey, having a Mother's Day sale, having an Easter sale, blah 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 sale. I have been kind of slacking on that, but usually people come up to me with offers, and I'm like, yeah, we can do that. No, I can't do that, but I can offer this, or I can offer that. But if you want to buy an item from me full price, and you're like, that's a little too much, I can't afford it, I will work with you. Most of the time, I resort to, hey, I'll just remove the shipping. And some people seem to like that, and that works. But you also want to use an organizing system. I don't know if anybody does this, but I like to jot down on a Google Sheet what I have sold, what date I've sold it, and the amount. I hope that these tips helped. I am so sorry I didn't go into full detail. I was just trying to make this as easy as I could for you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them below in the comments, because I will read them and I will respond. Yeah, give this video a like. And I might come out with a new video about how I do other things. I do like to pretty much just post what I like. I have so many ideas for a lot of other stuff. Like I have a Daiso haul project coming up, my Twitch stuff, and my review stuff. But this is a video I've been wanting to make for about 2 years now. And I think I recorded it at the right time because I have more experience now. I have an understanding of what to do, the procedures, the rules. Yeah, and again, if you guys have any questions, leave them down below because I will comment. Thanks again, guys, and I really hope to see you guys soon. And I hope you guys check out the shop. Right, bye.